All right, it is still the program this morning on ITV on Independent Television, and I told you on the discussion segment this morning, we're going to be looking at the tax before the screening committee that has just been constituted by the Edo State government. About last week now, that was on the 29th of June, last week, that the state governor had to put together some experienced politicians and also academicians, so to say, to see how we can get members of the waiting cabinet to be constituted. And of course, we are told that the Edo State governor last week Tuesday gave the members 2 weeks ultimatum that either on the 15th of July or before on the 15th of July to come up with a report. And we are told that the members of the committee include General Ainabe and Abbas Yakubu, also Bayo Gidegbe, Abubakar Mustafa, Honorable Akhiro Gbesia, Professor Okubo Felix, and Engineer M.I. Ijegede. Others are Osayamabo Agbons, Matthew, Honorable Matthew Doekeme, Dr. Mrs. Bob Usaze, and Professor Maureen Isoken Ebamoyi, Professor Ahmed Wabame, Hilary Otto, and Pastor Usagede Joseph. And we're told that the chairman of the screening committee is Professor Dennis Agmolaho, one-time Vice Chancellor of the Edo State University in Ekpoma. Now, for us here, we are going to try to x-ray this tax before this committee and also to set an agenda for them. Some of the tenets that this committee is going to follow so that at the end of the day, they come up with a very robust cabinet that Edo people are waiting. What to discuss this morning, we are also privileged to have Bishop Akhalame. Very soon his status is going to change. I understand that the next time he comes here, I won't be introducing him as Bishop Akhalame anymore, except the fact that I'll have to put Dr. Bishop Akhalame. He's bagging his doctorate degree any moment soon. Doctor, already I'm saying doctor now. All right, so Bishop Akhalame, you're welcome to this program. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And also we're expecting Honorable Yao Yuwa to also join us on the show this morning. So when he comes, we are going to bring him on so that he can bear his mind on some of the issues that we're going to be looking at. Now, Bishop, we're looking at the tax before the screening committee that has just been put together by the Edo State government. There's no doubt that it's one major thing that a lot of people have been waiting for. The cabinet. You talk about the commissioners, the senior special advisors, the special advisors, and of course the senior special assistants. Now, one major concern is for us to get the right persons in the right position. Bishop.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, I can say that what the governor has done, he has taken a very bold step to ensure that he has a quality executive council that will work with him. I can say that it is a good step. These people have to be screened from the grassroots. Then when they get through, they will now have a kind of interface with the members of Edo State House of Assembly for screening too and confirmation. I think we can say that with this, we will have quality composition of the executive council that will work with the governor. But then there's something I want to emphasize on, is that the screening of these people, getting quality person that will be commissioners in this state, is beyond screening of their credentials. And I want to charge the screening committee that if any of them is listening to me now, I can take the message to the chairman of the screening committee, Professor, the former VC of Ekpoma, that if we must have quality persons that will take over these political offices, there are 12 areas they have to test these applicants. They have to test these guys to actually have quality people. And then they must be very sure that they don't compromise standard. Okay? One, screening credentials. is number one thing. But let me tell you something, it is not the major thing to get those that will give us what we want in Edo State. One, they have to test their passion for the job. Number one thing they must look for is their passion for the job. Then when they are done with that, they look at the motivation and purpose of this applicant. Their motivation and purpose of this applicant. And of course, they also have to look at the diligence and professionalism of these guys. It does not end there. Then they have to test the skills and experience of the applicants. Then they equally have to make sure that they examine the leadership and creativity of these people. Then they equally have to make sure they test the problem-solving ability of the applicant. They look at what I call the compatibility with the job. Also look at what I call the personality and cultural compatibility. Then of course, look at their achievements. That is their accomplishments. Then look at what I call the management style and interpersonal skills. You see, when these guys are tested in these areas, and I can tell you, at the end of the day, the quality one, the good ones, will emerge. One thing I want to say is that why they have to do this is to ensure that the idea of the misallocation of intellectual resources is avoided, where people who do not have the knowledge begin to function in a particular area. At the end of the day, we begin to have problems. Because the failure, the non-performance of the government, it is a function of poor composition of the Executive Council.
Bishop,
Yes.
I listened to you carefully. You made your point agenda. You talked about professionalism, that they need to have passion, motivation, diligence, professional ability, skills, and also experience and leadership, creativity, problem-solving ability. Now, a while ago, you talked about that they shouldn't look at their credentials alone. Now, for some people, I mean, take for example, you want to make somebody the Commissioner of Education, and the person does not have relevant credentials, relevant experience that relates to educational experience and exposure. Are you saying that even when the person has all these abilities, the person has the passion for the job, the person has the motivation to deliver on the job, and of course the person probably has the experience, maybe experienced by one way of the fact that he has done it or not, at the expense of credential experience. Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, it's good. Thank God you are a very intelligent journalist. I didn't know that when I was talking, you were actually taking notice of all those points I was giving out. There's one thing I said there again. I said compatibility with the job. When I say compatibility, that means your credentials must match with the duty and responsibility that will be attached to your personality. That means if you are going to be a commissioner for finance, you must be a qualified accountant. You must be an accountant, a pundit, okay, an academic, an accounting scholar to function in that field. That's why I talk about misallocation of intellectual resources. Then you cannot go and bring a lawyer, a barrister to come and head Ministry of Finance. That is out of place. You now see that the man will not function because he does not know anything about accounting. He is just a lawyer. You can say now. Then you go and bring somebody from sociology, or maybe, so let me just say, okay, or maybe a lawyer again, to come and head the Ministry of Education. It's absurd. It's absurd. It is abnormal. So what we are saying is, that's what I say, compatibility with the job. That means, if I study accounting, you look at my credential, this guy is an accounting scholar. Automatically, you look at my resume, you look at my experience, you look at the area of my accomplishment, you should be able to know that this guy will fit into this area. So it can be the commissioner for finance. And of course, when I am there, you discover that the ministry will not miss anything. I will be delivering. You know why? Because I have the knowledge, okay? You know, the professionalism is there. I will be diligent because I am doing what I have. See, a man cannot give what he does not have. Nemo that cordon habet. When you drag a fish out of the stream, out of the river, he will be looking at you. He cannot do anything because you put it back to the stream. You see the fish doing a lot of magic for you. Say, come on, how come when I left him, when I taken away from the stream, he was incapacitated? That's how it is. You are a journalist. If they bring you to another profession where you don't have where you don't have the knowledge, you begin to look at it. Oh, this is a strange environment for me. This is a strange profession. It affects your performance. So that is what we are talking about. Your credentials must tally. There must be compatibility, of your credential with the job. The purported job that will be given to you. Okay? So if you want to have a commissioner for education, you must look for an erudite scholar, an educationist. Someone don't know how the system runs education. Not somebody who does not know anything about education at all. He has never gone to the classroom. He has never taught. He doesn't know anything. You just bring him from one side just because during the election he campaigned for you. Maybe you feel that at least let me compensate him. Then you put him there. They will begin to see a lot of issues. We are having a lot of issues today, not only in Edo State, in Nigeria, because rural people are occupying offices that ordinarily they ought not to have occupied. And of course, they cannot perform because they don't have what it takes to discharge the duty because they lack the intellectual capacity to deliver in their field.
Okay. All right. The program is still this morning on ITV on independent television. We're looking at the expected composition of the Edo State Executive Council, Edo State Cabinet, if you like now. And we understand that a charge has been given to some members of the public, known as members of the screening committee of the Edo State Cabinet composition.
Professor Dennis Agbonlaho said members of the screening committee have divided themselves into 3 groups to cover the 3 senatorial districts of Edo State. He pointed out that Governor Godwin Obaseki has emphasized on need for them to be fair to all sections of the state.
We are looking at all the petitions from the various local government areas. We want to be sure that we are fair to all concerned. There will be no dictatorial tendency. The application is open to all Edolites who are qualified. We want to be sure too that the LGA, the leaders from the various local government area have done just that. His Excellency, while inaugurating us, stressed the need to be fair to everybody and also stressed the need for inclusiveness in this exercise, and that is exactly what we intend to do.
On the criteria for screening commissioners, the committee chairman said 5 nominees are expected from each local government area where 1 will be picked. Professor Dennis Agbonlaho assured members of the public that a thorough job will be done to ensure a proper screening of those that will be entrusted to public office.
Wherever we are not very clear, we will make calls to appropriate people to clarify, to ensure that everybody is on the same page. After that, we intend to now start screening. We look at all the applicants for SAs, special assistants, from each ward in the entire state. He expects to see 3 nominees who will be screened, 1 a female, 2 males from each ward. Then for the post or position of SSA, he expects to see 5 nominations from each local government area, out of which he will appoint 4. And then of these 5, 2 should be females and the rest males.
The report of the screening committee is expected to be ready on or before July 15. Pius Nsogo reporting.
All right, thank you, Pius Nsogo, for that report there. Bishop Bakalame is still here. Now, we just watched the chairman of the screening committee, and he said that 5 members from each ward are to be expected, 5 nominees, of which 2 must be females, while 3 must be made. Now, the task before the screening committee is for them to be able to go through expectations, because in the first place, we are looking at a political situation here. We are looking at somehow people that somehow they have various interests, various reasons and all that. And we're also looking at a situation whereby at the end of the day, you know, the way the governor has, the way the governor expects it now, that at the end of the day, we should have at least a representative from a ward, either to be a commissioner, to be a special advisor, or to be a senior special assistant in this, you know, composition, in this cabinet that we're talking about. So how would you expect this screening committee to go through all this so that at the end of the day, the expectations of the people will be carried out?
Yes, like when I started with you, I told you that because I can see that the emphasis in some paper qualification. That is just the emphasis.
No, you may not. You are not part of this.
No. That is what is in the public. No, that is what is in the public domain. There's no for us.
It's not public domain now. The committee has been given a mandate.
No, that's what I'm saying, because the emphasis, it has been like that. The emphasis. That's why we are saying this now. That is the purpose of this interview, so that at least when they hear one or two things, they can add it to what they had before to progress and give us the best. Because the emphasis is a Nigeria thing. It's a Nigeria system. The emphasis has been on paper qualification, the credentials. Okay? So that's what we are saying now, that if we must get the best to represent the people, to be in the cabinet of the government. Do you know why I'm so keen about these things? Is that if you look at the function of the executive arm of the government, if you look at all the functions, there's one particular functions that I pay more attention to. What is it? The formulation of governmental policies as it affect the people. So, formulation of policies are not made by mediocres. Policies are not made by all professionals. Policies are not made by people who do not know anything. Policies are made by people who have a high intellectual asset. People who can think out of the box with creativity. That's why I said when I was giving you those qualities, I measure creativity and leadership. So, in all of this, if the resume of this applicant or of these selected people have been perused by the committee, they look at the credentials, screen them. One thing they must not do without, that's what I've just said to you, that a man you have screened his credential, there's a need for you to interface with the man. Look at it one-on-one. Yes, you can see you want to be a commissioner. Okay? Now, why do you want to serve us? No, it has to be interview.
What do you have for the people?
What do you have for the people? Why do you want to serve us? Why do you want this job? That is what you have. Why are you doing all this? Is to ascertain, to test the passion of the person. Once you have examined, once you have ascertained the passion, you will know whether the person is qualified to be nominated or selected after the screening. Number one, the passion. Then you look at the motivation and the purpose. The way you can drive, you can do that. You can draw that from applicant to know the motivation and the purpose of the applicant. Why do you want this job? Why? Is it because you want to be addressed as commissioner? Is it because you want to siphon the public fund? Is it because you want to be compensated because you campaign for the governor? What is your motivation? What is your drive? What is the purpose? So, this committee, they should be that's why I'm happy that we still have some academicians inside. They must be professionals to be able to go about these psychological interviews. We call them common psychological interview. Why do you want to? There way you can deduce, you can ascertain the motivation and the purpose of an applicant. Put him on the hot seat. Then when you now interview, like he said, we have selected about 5 persons. By the time you throw all this thing around, you'll be able to see persons that have passion for the job. You're able to see persons that have, you're able to know their motivation and their purpose. Then, like I told you before, it's not everybody that can head a ministry as a commissioner. It's not everybody. First of all, that's why you have to make sure that you examine and attest the managerial skills and interpersonal skills. A man who has never managed people before, a man who has never managed a business before, he cannot do well when you give him a task like that. He will be doing what's called all the job training.
Okay.
He will be learning the job.
Beautiful. Now, Bishop, one other thing that we must also look at is that these guys are they are going to be people that are applying for positions are going to be known as nominees, or let's say they are nominees, because I want to believe that by now the screening committee would have started receiving applications and all that. Now, these nominees are supposed to be nominated by each ward. So you can see that people ordinarily, people that have interest won't just apply on their own. It is either going to be that their ward will nominate them, or their AGA will nominate them. I think what I'm trying to say is that the wards across the states, and even the 18 local government areas across the state, they have a responsibility in bringing some of these issues to bear.
You are very correct. That's why I told you, I said, you see, this issue I just raised, the people you are seeing at the grassroots will not put this issue on the table. It will not serve as a guideline for them. You know why? Because of interest. Okay? Whether you like it or not.
So you see political interest?
Political interest, yes. Let it be that I have a friend or somebody who is close to me that will be a commissioner so that I can benefit.
Or somebody that delivered during the election at the expense of somebody that has what it takes.
We will not be talking about political compensation in that area. So these criteria we are setting here, though it's not applicable to those people you are seeing in the world you are talking about that will select those 5 persons are present to the committee. The committee is a neutral body now. They have to do a diligent job. They have to do a good job so that they will not give the governor a problem later. Because I said, you see, managing this state, the resources of the state, it is not only the duty and responsibility of the governor alone. Why are we saying today that the governor has delayed to constitute his cabinet? Because we feel that there are people who need to work with him to ensure that the dividend of democracy is being delivered to the people. We need commissioners. We need special advisors. Is it not? That's why today everybody is talking that the governor has waited so long. But now that he has waited so long and he has given the responsibility, consider a committee that will screen nominees so that he will not have problems. We have quality people that will be in the executive council that will help him to deliver and navigate the economy of this state. And I think it's a good thing. What they have to say is this: even though those that will select their wards and present to the screening committee will not put all these criteria in place to select their nominees, the committees have to do their job and serve as an independent umpire to ensure that the best emanates. That's why I said that they must not compromise standard. I have said before. And then I must make sure, I must also say here that the governor must have also look at the integrity history of these personalities that made up this committee. Not just anyhow person. Let me just say, okay, let me just reward him, let him be part of the committee, so he will be happy with me. No, we must make sure that these people have already passed what are called integrity tests.
So in other words, members of the committee, their integrity is at stake.
Yes, so the most of they deliver, because if eventually we have people who are not quality enough to be in the cabinet of the governor, if there's a failure in the administration, then the committee have a blame. Posterity will never forgive them.
Okay. So now, the governor said that the committee has, I think by calculation, is about 2 weeks, that they should bring their reports either on the 15th or before on the 15th of this month. Today is 7th, so the committee has about 8 more days to go. So that brings to a total number of about 2 weeks for the committee to work with. Now, looking at the major issues, the complicated issues that we're talking about now, the way the whole thing looks so complicated, do you think these 2 weeks is enough for this committee?
It's not enough.
It's not enough?
It's not enough. It's not enough. If we want to, if they want the committee to do a thorough job, 1 month.
Then it means we may not have our commissioners soon.
1 month. 1 month is enough. You know, it's because they start early. If they have started early, maybe from January, by now, I would have a constituted executive council in place. 1 month, not 2 months, 1 month. Because if we say 2 weeks, they can't deliver. Number one, they have to screen those credentials. Are they fake? Are they fake? Because there are some people who want to, because they want to have an appointment before you know it, that is where they're going to have a new certificate at that moment to serve. They have to make sure that this certificate is screened. If you say you have a BSc in accounting for University of Benin, then they have to go to University of Benin and trace if actually you are a graduate of University of Benin. That's another phase of the interview, of the screening. That the certificate you are presenting, good, you have a degree in banking and finance. You have a degree in law. How sure, how authentic is this degree? Then how do? You go to the source of that degree, where that degree emanated from. You make inquiry. That is why today INEC at times they become incapacitated when it comes to election. That most candidates doing election, they don't have certificates, and then you see an opponent will go to court and start dragging here and there and say, this man presented a fake result. That is what we want to avoid now. A situation because it will be very disastrous. When a man says, I am an accountant, I have a degree in accounting, and you screen him based on the certificate, okay? And then you posted him as a commissioner of finance. And everything that is happening there is looking strange to him because he has never gone to school to study accounting. So the committee have to make sure that they vet those results from those schools. That's number one. Then after that, that is screening. They now come out to see those that are not the results that are good, that are okay, that in order. They not do what is called they not interface with the nominees. That's where they will now begin to ask their question one-on-one like this to ascertain their capacity to deliver, to ascertain their potentiality, to ascertain their accomplishment, to ascertain their passion for the job, to ascertain their interpersonal and managerial skills, and to ascertain whether they have the creativity to deliver and leadership, and to ascertain what I mean by problem-solving capacity and ability.
Okay, now, Bishop, whether we like it or not, this whole thing is tied around politics, whether we like it or not, because don't you think there should be room for some form of political compensation in all this that we're talking about? That's the expectation of some persons in some quarters.
Well, you got it right. You see, I am not saying there should be no political compensation.
Or there shouldn't be any room for political compensation.
No, it's like that everywhere. What I am saying is to avoid what I call misallocation of intellectual resources. If I want to give you a joke, you have done well, I will ask you. I must have to make sure that that's what you are still saying the same thing. We're still saying the same thing. Good, you campaigned for the governor, is it not? You participated in the election.
Oh, you won your word.
You won your word. You did very well.
Yeah.
Now I want to compensate you. If I want to compensate you, I have to compensate you in your area of capacity, according to your capacity and your potential, so you will not fail in your duties and responsibility. That's what I'm talking about. So that's not where you just go. Maybe you know this man is a fish. He can always swim. You go a point on the land. He will not function. The place will just be there. These guys have to work with the governor to ensure that they deliver in formulating policies, to brainstorm. You see, the governor cannot solve all the problems. That's why I told you that if you are coming on board as a commissioner, you must have a problem-solving capacity and problem-solving ability. You must be creative. If you are posted to a ministry, of course you look at the ministry. What are those creativity you can bring aboard to transform the ministry? What are your potential you can bring aboard to transform the ministry? When you have done that, the governor will not be saying what is happening in the Ministry of Finance. He will be here because you know you have a capable hand there that is managing that area. He can formulate professional policy that can affect people positively. Not, like I told you, formulation of policies is not meant for mediocres. People who do not have, who cannot give. See, like I tell you, a man cannot give what he does not have. If you give a man a responsibility that is beyond him, the man will fail.
Anyway, Bishop, I think we'll have to call it short now because we are getting signals from Abuja. Ihara Atta is already on the standby, getting signals from Abuja as he looks at the dwindling revenue and boosting internally generated revenue and also other matters arising. One thing we must know is that when Governor Godwin Obaseki campaigned for the second term, there was a slogan, the mega agenda, making Edo great again. And these members of this cabinet that Edo people are expecting now are probably going to be the last straw that will break the camel's back so that the governor will achieve this. That's just the truth. Because a lot of people, are believing that, okay, when these guys come on board, definitely the mega agenda will be fully actualized. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how this screening committee will be able to deliver on their reports in the next 1 week that is remaining.